Hey friends, welcome to the 43rd episode of the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. Hope you guys have had a good 2 weeks. I'm tired. Actually, today's like last night was the first night I got like a full night's sleep. I don't know if this would be news in other states or not, but spring in Oklahoma means severe weather. It's just kind of something that we are all aware of. Most of the time, it's not as bad as anticipated, but this spring has been particularly bad so far. So we're in the middle of a kind of run of severe storms. And what's really fun about this is they tend to happen after the sun goes down. So there's something about the atmosphere that just changes in the evenings, and so the storms will start ramping up in the afternoon, and then they like really hit once the sun goes down. So when you have a dog with severe storm anxiety, and then you also have severe storm anxiety, it means you don't sleep well. Yeah, it's what's been really annoying about that. Thankfully, I've been very safe. I don't even think we've gotten hail. I haven't gotten hail. I haven't gotten high winds. We've gotten rain. That's really it. It's other parts of the state and like around the metro that have gotten a lot of storms. I think they've like counted. It's like been over 30 tornadoes have hit Oklahoma in the last week, which is just nuts. But thankfully none near me. But like I joke with my family that Oklahoma weather, like spring weather, is my favorite spring sport because they this might be a very unique Oklahoma thing, I don't know, but Oklahomans tend to have their favorite weatherman and you refer to them by their first name. So my favorite is Mike Morgan on Channel 4. But when there's severe storms in the state, they actually like completely like take over the channel and they just do round the clock reporting. And so when it's like really busy, it's very stressful to watch because it's like, okay, we just got a tornado warning in this area and oh, we got another one over here, and so they're covering a whole bunch of storms. But it is very helpful too to like know, okay, do I need to go down to my storm shelter now, or am I okay? Is it gonna miss me? When it's not as busy, it's slightly annoying because it's like, let's go to a storm report and let's go see how big the hail was in this city, and oh, this is a video from earlier. And anyway, I still watch it because my anxiety is high enough with storms that like I can't watch anything else. But unfortunately, Linus, who is currently my least favorite dog, his storm anxiety is more with thunder and lightning. He has no concept of tornadoes. He's never been in a tornado, but like he gets very, very anxious. And so like I'll go to bed knowing like we're gonna get rain and that's all we're gonna get. He doesn't know that. And so he has been waking me up at just shortly after 1 a.m. For the last 3 nights until last night. Last night was the first night I actually slept through the night, but woke me up shortly after 1 a.m. having like essentially a panic attack. And so I give him anxiety meds. So I'm trying to do what I can, but unfortunately the anxiety meds just don't work for storms as well. And so I've been accidentally overdosing him actually because I didn't know the vet changed my dose. So he gets trazodone and I normally have 50 milligram pills and I can give him 2. And so when storms are really bad, I give him 2. So he gets 100 milligrams. Well, they changed my pills to 100 milligram pills. So poor little buddy's been getting 200 milligrams of trazodone, which is a big dose. Still hasn't knocked him out. Yeah, hasn't. So usually what he does is he will pant rhythmically, which is very annoying. And then he paces around my bed. So he's just like panting, and then starts crying, and then pants and walks. And it's just impossible for me to sleep when he does that. And I've tried so many things. I've tried getting on the floor and laying down with him. Nah, just ratchets up his anxiety. We've tried going and walking around the house for a little bit to get some nervous energy out. Ratchets up his anxiety. I've tried locking him out of my bedroom so I could just sleep, and he starts scratching on the door. So, and we've tried Thunder Vests. He hates them. We've tried all kinds of calming medications. Nothing works. I've had a lot of conversations with the vet about this. But I found something this week that seems to work the best, and I find it hilarious. Not in the moment. In the moment, I'm like at the brink and I'm crying. So one of the storms, really the big thing that it was lightning and thunder. We weren't even getting rain. It was just in the distance. And so I thought, you know what? What if I turned on the TV? Like, maybe that would provide enough light and noise that he wouldn't be able to see the lightning or the thunder. And so one night, and I thought, and also I wasn't sure if the storms were coming for me or not. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to go lay on the couch and we're going to turn on the news and we're going to watch the weather. And you always know it's not that serious when they're not playing 24/7 weather. And so they're playing Pawn Stars. So I laid down on the couch and put my ottoman in front of my face so he couldn't get to my face. And we watched Pawn Stars. And it took me probably a little over an hour, I think, to get to sleep. But it seemed to kind of calm him down. He actually laid down. But I was starting to get into Pawn Stars, like paying too much attention to it. And I was like, I really don't want to pay attention. I just want to sleep. And one of the things that I'm very good at sleeping through, ironically, is just people talking. So podcasts, like knitting podcasts. If I'm really tired, I actually kind of enjoy sometimes putting those on and then just laying down and taking a nap. I don't know why. I just do. But I was thinking, okay, I think part of it is there's no commercials, because I pay for YouTube to not have commercials. And then generally the volume level's around the same because it's just conversation. When you're watching a TV show, I feel like there's always going to be a loud part and a quiet part. So I think that's part of it. But I was like, okay, I need a really long podcast, something I can just put on and I don't have to worry about, like, I don't know, the next one. And so I love the podcast Knitting a Good Yarn with Carmen and Jack. Is it Jackie? Yeah, Jackie and Carmen. I'll be honest, I have a hard time making it through their podcast because they are long, and they'll tell you that up front. Like, they're 3+ hour podcasts. I have a hard time maintaining attention quite that long, but I had actually watched their last one, and so I thought, okay, this is perfect. I've already seen this. I'm just gonna put it on, and it worked. It worked beautifully. I slept through it. I woke up with my alarm clock. My dog slept with their podcast on, which was awesome. And then they did the same thing to me the next 2 nights. Woke me up shortly after 1 because of lightning and thunder. And so the second night I was like, I know what to do. So I grabbed a blanket, ran downstairs, put on a knitting podcast, put on Knitting a Good Yarn, and we slept again. And then what's really annoying was yesterday morning, they woke me up at 2 a.m. There were no storms. There was no lightning. There was no thunder. There was nothing. But their circadian rhythm is off. And so they thought 2 o'clock is just the time we get up now. Like, you're late. Why haven't you fed us breakfast? And I was just like, at that point, I was so tired of sleeping on the couch. I was just like, get out of my room. And so I let them outside. I made sure they were okay. And then I shut the door to my bedroom. And I was like, just go entertain yourself downstairs. I need sleep. But thankfully we had a break in storms last night and they were tired. I made sure they were tired before I went to bed. And I got a full night's sleep and it was glorious. And I feel like a new human. So I was like really kind of worried. I was like, if I don't get a good night's sleep before the podcast, I'm going to be like, I'm so tired. I still have coffee though. Okay. Let's see what other life news. I think I mentioned last time I gave myself Achilles tendonitis walking, of all things. And unfortunately, it has not cleared up. It's still kind of bothering me, so I'm having to be kind of careful what exercise I do. So I think right now running's kind of out, unfortunately. I also, like, I run in a very neutral shoe, so I don't like to have a lot of drop from my heel to my toe, but that actually puts more strain on your Achilles tendon. And so I've had to purchase shoes that have a bigger drop. And I am, what's the term for this? Unreasonably picky about my shoe color, like tennis shoe color. So there were a lot I could have bought that would have been perfectly fine, but they were not the colors I wanted. So I have, I purchased a pair, which I'm still a little bit on the fence about, but it's fine. So they should be here next week. So I don't know if I can run in those. I've struggled with running with too much of a heel drop just because it aggravates my shin splints. But I figure I can at the bare minimum walk around in them, like go for a walk and not aggravate my Achilles. But I have been doing more Peloton because I find that doesn't aggravate the Achilles quite as much. And I'm desperately trying to become someone who likes yoga. I hate yoga. Every time I've tried to do yoga, it's been just like this. It's hard. It's deceptively difficult. You look at it and you're like, oh, it's glorified stretching. And then you do it and you're like, oh, no, this is like body weight strength training. You hold these poses and it's like your muscles are just shaking. It's like bar, honestly. I'm also not flexible. And so some of these poses they're having me do, I'm like, no. And I started with the beginner class, if anyone's asking. So Peloton has some great classes. They also apparently have classes on like beginner, like the basics of yoga. So like focusing on a specific pose. But like, I really want to like yoga. And so I've started to do that a little bit. So we'll see. I may go back and start doing those basics classes just to kind of understand it a little bit better. But I'm trying to do at least one yoga class a week, like virtual. I've only ever done one yoga class in person, and it was back when I was a student and I had a membership to the Y. And I used to love Pilates, and so I found a Pilates class at the Y. It was beginner Pilates because it'd been a while since I did a class. And I walked in and people were warming up doing headstands. And I was like, there were like 4 people in the class and they all had their own equipment. Like everybody brought their own mat and was like decked out in their best yoga gear. And here I am in like running shorts and a tank top. And I like grabbing the yoga mat that they had, it was like that they offered at the Y. And I was like, alarm bells were starting to go off, but I thought, I was like, well, we'll just see. Maybe the rest of the class hasn't gotten here yet. It was mislabeled. It was an advanced yoga class that I walked in on, not the beginner Pilates class. If there had been a video of that class, honestly, I'd kill to see it right now because it was so bad. They weren't described, they were just naming poses, and it was, I don't even know what kind of yoga it was. I still don't understand the differences, but it was like, I'm trying to think. Yeah, if you like accidentally stumbled into a dance class that everybody else knew the dance and you didn't, and you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, cool. Like, wow, this is difficult. Is there a modification? But yeah, that was my one experience with the yoga class in person. And I recognize that they aren't all like that, but I would like to be somebody who enjoys yoga. So I'm slowly building up to that, and we'll see. It is getting hecka dark outside. I'm not prepared for more rain. Actually, I take that back. It can thunder all at once in the middle of the day. I don't care. As long as it doesn't thunder at night. Actually, we're supposed to get storms again tonight. We're supposed to have storms again tonight, tomorrow, like overnight into Sunday. And then Monday, they're saying strong storms, which is like great. That means severe weather. So, pray for me, y'all. I need sleep. Okay, enough life chat. I have 1 FO and 2 whips, and that's it. And oh, and a bunch of also a bunch of acquisitions, and something else. So yeah, this is probably the knitting content in today's video is probably going to be light. It's interesting. I've been a very monogamous knitter lately, and I also think that with it staying light for longer, it makes me want to get outside and do stuff. Like I've been working in my garden a lot more. I should show you. I made 2 flower purchases recently. I bought a dahlia plant and I bought I don't know how we say it in the US because I've watched too many British gardening shows, so I don't know if it's clematis or clematis. I don't know how we say it over here. I don't remember which is which. But I bought a really pretty one, and I'm going to so this is the dahlia that I've already planted. And then this is the clematis. I like that. I like the way that sounds better, that I bought. And I think it's so pretty. And my garden is such a work in progress right now. I have so much weeding to do and weed whacking. And I think once I do the weed whacking and I clear out the beds, it's going to look so nice. But that is a big job. And unfortunately, with it raining all the time, it's hard to get out there and do all that. But where was I going with that story? Oh, yeah, so I've been out in my garden a whole lot more. And so I haven't been doing as much knitting. But I feel like that is going to change next week, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, first thing I finished, and I think this was almost finished last time, but this is my plain yoke tee 22 by Les Knit. And I knit this out of Antigone by Duram Natura in the Pamplemousse or grapefruit colorway. It's interesting. So there are things I would change about this. I think I mentioned this last time. I love the neckline and the yoke, but for me, the body is too wide. So you can see how wide this is. So we probably got like 8 inches of positive ease, but the yoke is also too deep for me. So the raglan is like several inches too deep on me. So whenever I raise my arms, this shirt like comes way up. I do like the hem on this too. I like the rolled look. I did end up going for longer sleeves. I thought I was just going to like knit a row and then bind off, like do the bind off or the hem, but I ended up, it doesn't look like it. Like it really doesn't, but I did end up actually knitting 2 inches, I think. Maybe that's 1.5 inches. I don't know. I ended up knitting what they recommended, and then binding off. This, I thought this was going to be way too see-through because like you can see my face through this, but because this is more close to my skin tone, it doesn't look as bad. It does show like it, if I'm wearing jeans, you can see the jeans through this, but you can't see my bra or my skin as easily through it, which I like. This is interesting. So it's linen. It's 100% linen. And when it was really lovely to knit with. I really enjoyed knitting with this. It's a sport weight. It's a thin sport weight. But it was just a lovely tactile experience. And then I decided to wash or like wet block it to even out some of my stitches, which did work. But it got crunchy when it dried. And there's part of me that wonders, like, should I put this in the dryer under like low heat and like let it soften up that way? I might try that because this is a little bit on the big side. But it has softened up as I just realized I left my bedroom window open and you can hear my dog barking. Anyway, hopefully that's not too loud. I'll try to dampen that in the editing. But yeah, so it was pretty crunchy when I dried it, but then as I've worn it, it has softened up, and that linen does that. So if you've never used linen before, just know that the more you wear it, the softer it gets. What else was I gonna say about this? Oh yeah, so I had a work trip last week. Yeah, I've got so many like little trips on the weekends, and like for 24 hours I'm gone, and it sucks because I end up like getting behind on laundry. So today I've got like 10 loads of laundry to do because I'm like running out of clean underwear. It's a problem. Anyway, so I actually wore this on the flight home, and it was so comfortable and light and just felt really good. So I like this. I think if I do this again, I would probably do this on a smaller needle, so at a slightly tighter gauge. I would also do my increases a little bit closer together so that or just like watch my raglan depth, because it's round yoke for most of it, and then you switch over to raglan. So I think I would just like to make the yoke depth shorter, and make it maybe a little bit less flowy, like a little tighter gauge. But that is the plain yoke tee. I actually have already casted on a second one, but I'm not going to show it because I think I have 2 rows done. That's it. Okay. That is all for the whips. Sorry, for the FOs. I have 2 whips. I mean, technically I've got a lot more whips, but no progress has been made on any of them. My socks will get done at some point. I actually probably... Ooh, I need to figure that out because I knit those in church, and I'm almost at the toe. I need to figure out at what point I start the toe. Anyway, okay, so this one's going to be very hard to show you because it's at an odd stage right now. But this is my Tolsta tank. So this is a test for the Crayabea for Rebecca. So if you're looking for this pattern, it is not available yet. I don't know when it's going to be available. I think she did mention it. I already forgot. So this is a mega pattern. It is going to have 2 different weights, so DK and fingering, and it's going to have 3 different types of tanks. So there's going to be, she calls it the vest, which I think in the US we could just call it tank top. There's going to be a camisole version, and then there's going to be what's called the square neck, which is what I'm doing, and I chose the fingering weight. Woohoo! And I talked last time about like swatching and struggling with my gauge, but I'm really happy with what I went with. So this is my Tin Lena. Yeah, this is really hard to show. Tin Lena in the, I think it was called Lemon Lime. I think this is pea green, which I'm actually, when I first looked at it, it looked like apple green, but the more I'm knitting on it, I'm like, this is pea green. It's really hard to show like this. So you start from the bottom, work your way up, and then you split for the front and the back. I finished the front last night. I just put my back needles on, or back stitches on the needle, and then I'm going to do the back, and then you pick up for the straps. So I haven't read through the pattern to know this part yet, but like, yeah, you'll pick up here and do your straps. I was actually really worried about this. When I like was holding it up to me last night, I was like, ooh, we might have a little side boob action here. But I actually tried it on last night, which is hard to do with top or bottom up, but I managed it. And actually I think it stretches enough that I think it's gonna be fine. I was also really worried about how see-through this fabric was gonna be, but I don't know if you can see me through it. I don't think you can too much. I don't think it's that bad. You can kind of see like here. You can kind of see a little bit here, but it's not bad. And I think this one might fluff up a little bit when I wash it. I don't know. But it is like epically drapey. It's so soft. This, yeah, so come here. Tin Lena. And I think it's just a color, like the colorway is just a number. It's 9825. I really like this. This is cotton, viscose, and linen, I think. Yeah, 53% cotton, 33% viscose, 14% linen, and a fingering weight. It is a light fingering weight. I bought 6 skeins of this because I think in my mind I was going to do a DK, and then I signed up for 4-ply. But I'm on my 3rd skein, and I still, like, I joined a 3rd skein right before I split for the front and back, and this is, I still have almost a whole ball, so I think I'll be fine. Yeah, that's really about all I have to say about this, I think. Yeah, really liking it. It is, it's very, like, the pattern itself is actually very simple, and I love that. Like, the whole pattern for mine fits almost on 1 page, which is, I really love that, because it's just, that means it's a very intuitive pattern to me. It also means, like, there's not a lot of fussiness about it, which I appreciate. And I know, like, a lot of people are doing modifications. Y'all, I was like, okay, I've been buying a lot of yarn lately, and it has slowed down, thankfully. But I was like, okay, for at least the next 2 weeks, you're not buying any more yarn. Then Pearl Soho was like, here's our cotton, our new cotton in mini skeins, and all this bajillion colors, and you can buy them all, and they're on sale. I was like, oh, I could do a striped Tolsta tank. I resisted, though. I'm so proud of myself. I did not buy it. I had to remind myself, like, this will still be around in a few months, and you can buy it then, once you've worked through some of your other stuff. Oh, man. But yeah, so that is being held in my petite net bag. I just like that it's kind of a bucket. I do find that these, where'd it go? This type of ball is annoying to pull from because it's from the outside, but it's not round. So it's like going all over the place. So I like to have it in a bucket type bag, so it kind of contains it a little bit. Love me the Harvey. They just had 2 of their seasonal pastries. They always do a seasonal croissant, and they always do a seasonal cruffin. And their seasonal cruffin was strawberries and cream. It is strawberries and cream for this month, and I had one this morning, and it is so good. But their seasonal croissant is an orange sickle, and I'm just curious, so I bought one. I haven't eaten it yet, but I'll probably eat it tomorrow. Okay, the next whip, the last whip, is in, I love this bag. This is from the Fat Squirrel. I think this was called her, like, murder sweater, or like poison sweater. I think it's poison sweater because all these plants are poisonous. I love it. Okay, so this one kind of goes into some acquisitions a little bit, but it is actually a whip. So, oh, we're not gonna lose stitches. One of the things that I love about this test I'm doing for the Rebecca is that she actually gives you access to all of the patterns. So even though I am testing a specific size in the 4-ply square neck tank, I get access to everything, which I love, because I intend to knit them all at some point. But I'm obviously going to finish this one first because this is what I signed up for, and I've made the most progress on that. But so this is okay. So I've had this idea, like, that's part of the reason I've been buying so much yarn, is it's just like ramping up for summer knitting, and I'm enjoying it so much. So most of what I bought are summer weight yarns. But I think I also posted this on Instagram. I now have an LYS, and I'm so excited about it. So Moondrake Yarns is in Oklahoma City. She is literally like 3 minutes from the Harvey, which is just like dangerous, yo. It is dangerous because she's now I would say the benefit is that I'm a creature of habit, and I like to be at the Harvey early, and she's not open until later, so I'm gonna have to go back. But she had her soft opening last weekend, and you guys, like, It's amazing. Like, if I can figure out how to add a video, I will. I don't know if I have the technical skills for that, but I'll at least include some photos from her shop because it is tiny but mighty. And she's looking to like grow it and have more notions and things like that. Sorry, I'm getting out of breath. I'm just so excited. But I've bought her yarn before, but I really wanted an opportunity to go like squish it and like pair colors and whatnot. So she also has a yarn. It's not new, but I've never tried it. It's 60% superwash merino, 20% silk, and 20% ramie, which is a type of linen. It's called Pika Pika. And so I bought a couple skeins of this, and this like, it's called Softness. It's like this beautiful icy blue. And then I already knew I love this yarn, but this color, you'll see, there's a theme, was just calling to me. This is Fua Fua, and this is Periwinkle. So this is 70% brushed cashmere, 30% superwash merino, and it's fingering. And so I was like, okay. To me, these are Cinderella blue. Like together, this is like Cinderella, which is just like, she's my favorite. So I bought 2 skeins of each. I will probably end up needing to buy another one of each, or at least another Fua Fua. I think I'm gonna run out. But I cast on a Tolsta tank DK, and I did the vest. So I also did a modification. So I really like these hems that have like a few rows of stockinette and then the ribbing. And so I've mentioned this before, it's kind of a fidget thing for me. Now, obviously, the 20% silk and 20% ramie in this are not going to make much of a difference as far as summer weight. This is not going to be a summer garment. The fuzzy cashmere in here, this is going to be probably too itchy and too heavy for me to wear in the summer. But the idea is to wear this more in the like fall and winter with I have a really cute button down that's got like a ruffle on the neck. So I figured this would be really cute, and it's got like puff sleeves. Be cute in the like tank top version. So yeah, that's where we're at. I did not swatch because I'm not officially testing this one. I'm just like doing my own thing. I also didn't think to weigh my yarns before, so like really truly not doing a great job of testing. But this is going so much faster. Like I did this in a day, whereas the other one, the ribbing alone took me like 3 days because it's like ribbing on a teeny tiny needle for 1.5 inches. This one I did differently, so it's not as much, but this is just incredibly lovely to knit. And I think I've measured my gauge since I started it, and I think it's going to work out just fine. So I would like, so she's having her grand opening. Moondrake is having her grand opening next weekend. I think her store hours are going to be like Thursday through Sunday. I think it's like 10 to 6. Parking in her area is not fantastic, but there is lots of parking right across the street, so it shouldn't be a big issue. It was so fun. It was so lovely. So I will be there next weekend. She also has Spin Cycle, and it makes my heart so happy to be able to pick out Spin Cycle in person. She doesn't have a huge selection of Spin Cycle, but she does have some really good colors, and her personal color, Moonbeams, is beautiful. And I was definitely eyeing a few that I was like, I really like that. But I also like have a ton of Spin Cycle that I haven't used yet. And there was part of me that was like, oh, I need a pattern first. Like, let's find a pattern. And then also one of hers would have gone really well with this, but I didn't really want to mix it. Like, I don't want this to be color work. I want this to be plain. So once I find a pattern that I like, that I want to do, I will probably go back and buy some because it's beautiful. Okay. All right. I have acquisitions. A lot of them. Before I get to that though, just because I know some people are not fans of acquisitions, and we'll tune off at that point. So I'm going to talk about the other thing first. I am doing a destash. I've never done one before. So we'll see how this goes. But if you'll notice, some of my shelves are a little bit emptier. I just kind of decided, you know, it's time to like, I just wanted to go through it and look at yarns that are still like, I've held on to them for so long because they're good yarns, but they're things that I like, just realistically, I'm not going to get to. And so I'm looking at them over here. It's a lot. I had a dream last night where I remembered another, it wasn't a dream, it was real. In my attic, I just remembered I have a whole tub full of yarn. Jeez. That obviously I'm never getting to, so I may have several destashes. The caveat here is that my mom gets first dibs. I've already told her that, so I don't know when she's going to be in town next, but I'm going to give her first crack at all the yarns. She'll actually be, maybe on Wednesday, so I might just have to lug all this over to my sister's house. But yeah, so she's going to get first dibs at all the yarn, and what she doesn't want, which is, I don't think she'll want all this, I'm going to put up on probably Instagram, and I will include the brand, the weight, the yardage, pretty much everything in this destash is full skeins. I think there's one partial skein. There might be two partial skeins, but for the most part, everything is like not even wound up yet. It will be discounted. Obviously, it will not be full price. So I think I'm going to keep it to the US just to make it easier on myself. But if you're international and you're really dying for something, let me know and we'll figure it out. But yeah, so that'll probably be coming next week or next weekend on Instagram. I'll probably just post 10 photos. Like each photo will have a little description of what's what, and then first come, first serve. And we'll just like, I'll have you email me your information and we'll just kind of go from there. I will cover shipping costs too. That's the other thing. Like this is not a giveaway. This is for sale. But yeah, I'll probably do Venmo or PayPal. It will be probably the best way to do that. But yeah, so it's a lot. It's probably, I'm imagining this is like, I don't have the energy, honestly, to like do this all in one sitting. I need to photograph everything, and it means I need good light for it. So it's gonna be a process. But I do have a few sweater quantities, and I have lots of single skeins, and yeah. So hopefully if you are looking for some yarn at a discounted price, you will give it a look. Okay, so what I have left is acquisitions. If that is not your jam, fully support that. Go away before I try to make you buy, or not make you buy, but before I influence you to buy yarn. So I probably won't be back in 2 weeks. I'll probably be back in 3. I've just all these weekend trips, man, they're just getting me. And I don't really want to lug all my knitting to another city and lug a tripod and all that in my carry-on and try to film from a hotel room. I don't feel like doing that. So we'll just wait till I get back home. So get a little bit more coffee in me. The first thing that showed up is I'm obviously, and I'm on, gosh, talking is hard. I'm on a linen kick lately. So a few of these options have linen in them. This one, so I decided to try some from Quince & Co. It is Italian linen, and I got it in 2 colors. So this is, what is this called? This is called Sparrow. So this is Juniper, so it's like a gray blue. And then the other one I got is called, what is it called? Truffle. And it's kind of like a purpley gray brown. This is blowing out like crazy. That's a little better. So yeah, they're both kind of in the muted category, but I like them. They're both pretty. I got 4 skeins of each. Yeah, I got 4 skeins of each. They are 168 yards per 50 grams. So fingering weight. So I'm thinking maybe a Tolsta tank with this. It doesn't feel as soft as the Antigone, but it does look a little thicker maybe. I don't know. I have to figure out what math I did to like choose which one I bought. Yeah, I think I did the math to make a Tolsta tank. I think that's why I bought this, but so I'll be honest, their tags drive me crazy. Like, these are just gonna get caught on things. But we'll see. I'm also wondering how easy it's gonna be to wind this on my ball winder, because I had to wind one of my Antigone skeins because it just completely like barfed, and it was a little difficult, so we'll see. But so that was the first one. The second that I got was another order of Antigone. Isn't this so pretty? I think this is Mistral. Oh dears. Be great if you actually read that ahead of time. Yeah, Mistral. So I believe this is French linen. I got 3 balls of this. This is, yeah, I really like this. And I think that's all I needed for the plain yoke. So I might make another one of those. Actually, I take that back, because the one I'm making right now is similar to this color. So maybe I'll make a camisole, a Tolsta like camisole. This would be really pretty in that. I would have such good drape. Ideas. So yeah, that's that. I have 3 balls of this. I love that about like summer garments, is that you just don't need as much yarn. And the yarn is generally less expensive, not always, but sometimes it is. So, okay. Speaking of less expensive, so basically what I was trying to do, I think like 2 weeks ago, because all this yarn came over the last 2 weeks, I wanted to try as many summer weight yarns as I could, like just anything that caught my eye. And I wanted to try from like very nice to very affordable, which sounds bad, like pricey to very affordable. I should put it that way, because this is nice too. So I was looking at Michael's, and unfortunately my Michael's yarn selection is pitiful. I wish they would actually do a better job of stocking that, because what happens is like the really fun yarns, they have 1 ball left. Like this, so this one, they had 1 ball of this. Can you see a theme? Oh, you can't see it yet. You'll see the theme. This is my current color obsession, chartreuse, this and blue. So there we go. There's our theme. So this is called Silky Soft. It's loops and thread. It's 240 yards and 100 grams. And it is 100% rayon from bamboo. So yeah, they had 1 ball of this at my Michael's, and I was afraid if I bought this and then bought some online, I'd get different dye lots. I think I did anyway, because I put in a big order because this stuff was not expensive, and it shipped in 2 different batches, and it was both colors in each batch. So I'm pretty sure, but I can't tell the difference. So I think this was like a buy more, get save more kind of situation. So I got 4 balls of this. I don't know exactly. This would actually be a really fun plain yoke. Or maybe even just a Tolsta tee. Be so fun. I probably have enough, because I've got like 1,000 yards here. I might do that. It's very soft. So this is, and it is a little heavy. Like, this is not a light yarn. Sorry, my allergies have been out of control. It's not a light yarn, but I still think it'll be fun. Yeah, this is actually, this is hefty. But I want to say these cost me like $5 a ball. So this is like $20. Not bad. It might have been a little bit more than that, but it wasn't much. because some colors were discounted more. The other color I got 3 balls of this one. So that one was Margarita. That was the color, which I also love that name. This colorway, where's the colorway name? Cobalt. That's a great name. This is a little bit darker blue than my, the poppy blue that I used for my storm sweater. But I got 3 balls of this one. Not quite sure which pattern I'm going to do with that. And then the last color I got is, this better just be black, oh, jet black. This is a black, like a very true black. It has collected fuzz. So yeah, it's a really good black. I'm happy with this. So I got 3 balls of this one too. So for, let's see, 6, so 10 balls of yarn, I think I paid $50. So not bad. Not bad at all. So I will have to report back and tell you what this stuff is like. I like the feel of it. It is very soft. It is heavy. That's maybe going to be its downfall, is it's not a light yarn. Like this is 100 grams and this feels it. It really does. Okay. We're not even halfway through. Oh my gosh, I need to stop buying yarn. I won't though. I mean, I have actually. To my credit, I don't think I've bought yarn. I bought one thing yesterday. Okay, this is not a summer weight, but this has already been posted, so I don't feel bad showing this. This is my sock of the month club. I don't actually remember. Year of Socks. It's Year of Socks from the Mercery. And this is from the Scranton Stitcher. And I love this. It's called stained glass, but to me, this looks like a Monet painting. This looks like the water lilies, which I've been to that museum a few times in Paris, and it's one of my favorite. I think my favorite time I ever went there, actually, a friend and I went in 2021 in the summer, and that was right as things were opening back up with COVID, but tourists hadn't really come back yet, and we almost had that museum to ourselves. Like, we were in a room with like 4 other people. It was insane. But that's what this reminds me of. So this might be my next sock. We'll see. I think it's really pretty. It is, so it's 75-25. And it's a 20 gram mini with it. So, okay, let's go through the rest of my Moondrake stuff. So I bought a few things from them. So she also has a section in her shop called Still Good Yarn, and that's either yarns that she's discontinued at base, or she didn't decide she liked the color, or there was some little issue with the like dye process where it didn't match the other dye lots, but it's still good yarn and it's discounted. And so this one, I don't think she carries this base anymore, but I got real excited when I found it. And it is absolutely delightful. So this is 100% silk. It's called Pure Lightness, and oh, maybe that's the colorway name. Oh no, the colorway is Periwinkle. Huh, can you tell my color? You'll see the next one. Like, honestly, what I bought from her was there were 2 colors I got from her, which is interesting because she does pinks so well. And so many of her pinks I love, but I got blue and I got chartreuse. So this is 420 yards and 100 grams. There were only 2 of them left, so I got them. They're incredibly soft. They have actually a pretty decent halo. You can kind of see that there, which is interesting for silk. So we'll have to see how this knits up. I definitely have enough in here that I could make a Tolsta tee, or Tolsta tank, I mean. So this might be a good camisole. Be a nice pretty blue. I'm probably gonna have to find a different pattern at some point because I'm gonna have like 50 Tolsta tanks at the end of the summer, but it's very, very drapey. It doesn't have a lot of structure, but I think that could make a really nice tank. So I might have to, this is a pretty fine fingering, so depending on how well this blooms, which it's silk, so I don't imagine it's going to bloom a ton, but I might have to knit this on a slightly smaller needle, like maybe do a little bit bigger size and smaller needle. So we'll see. The other thing I got is 2 different bases that I've never tried from her before. So this one is the Ram Merino. Can you tell a theme? Ram Merino DK, which is 250 yards and 115 grams of superwash merino rambouillet. It's a very round yarn, so this would actually be great for color, or not color, for cables, because it's so round. It's like a bajillion ply. I don't know how many, but I got this, and then she talked me into this. I'm not a huge mohair person, but she has a new mohair called Kinu Momo, and it is 60% mohair and 40% silk. So it's a higher silk content. And it, like, I don't know. I have some mohairs that even doing this, I'm like, so it has to be really cold out. But I figured I'd get these and make a hat with them. So give me a chance to try out this mohair. You know, I really do like Surrey alpaca, and she does have a Surrey base, which is great. But there are some differences. So mohair is thinner, and it also tends to have a more delicate halo. And so there are some projects where that actually fits better. So if it turns out that I like the feel of this better than traditional mohair, what she was saying is that she gets sensitive to mohair. Rochelle, the owner of Moondrake, she's had sensitivity to other mohairs before, but because this one has such a high silk content, she hasn't had sensitivity to this. So this is the key lime colorway, and this is Sprouts. And I figured these would be really fun together, make a hat. And that would also, I feel like if I can handle the itch on my forehead, then I can handle it. So there's that. And then let's see. So everybody who shopped, I think, got one of these little tins from her. And she has some barber cords in there and some stitch markers and a little sticker. I think it's like an astronaut kitty. That's what my sticker is. See if I can get it out of here. Ooh. I like all the colors for her barber cords too. They're very fun and colorful. Let's see. There we go. So there's my little astronaut kitty. I don't know if you can get my head out of the way. Come on. Yeah, I can't ever tell if it's actually focusing or not. Is it? Oh, that's really annoying. I watch these videos back when I'm editing, and I'm like, oh, look, and I think it's focused, and then I'm like, it never focused. So apologize. But yeah, then there's some little pear stitch markers, and then some little ring stitch markers in there too. But I have a bunch of these cords, and the little tin that they come in is not big enough, I think, to hold them. So I kind of like this because I think I'll probably put all my spare barber cords in here. Okay, I got one last thing at her shop, and I apologize for the crinkles, but she has roving for spinning, and I got some. She didn't have a whole lot of it. This was a one of a kind. This is 100% superwash merino. Let me see if I can get it out real quick so I'm not crinkling. Sorry, friends. But I saw this on her website, and I was really hoping she'd have this color. I just love, I mean, it is, again, it's my theme. This chartreuse is just my theme right now. So I don't know when I'm going to get to this, but it will happen. There's a green switch. Oh gosh, getting this back in. I shouldn't have taken this out. Why did I take this out? Yeah, I haven't done any spinning real lately. I haven't felt like it. I just felt like knitting all the things. Okay. I've got 2 more stores. Oh gosh, and then I'm done. So I bought some stuff from Pearl Soho. So first of all, they are now giving away these little minis with your purchase, which was fun. So this is Yonder. So it's 50% alpaca, 50% Highland wool. It's a 28 yard mini. I forget, this is Pink Earth is the colorway. I've actually made hats out of this yarn, and it is so soft and warm and just squishy. It's just, yeah, it's a really good yarn. So that was a fun little bonus. So I bought some extra of one yarn that I already had a skein of, and then I bought a couple other that I've never tried before and I've kind of wanted to. So this first one is Sweetgrass Fine, I think. Yeah, Sweetgrass Fine. So it's an undyed 65% organic cotton, 35% superfine alpaca. And it is absolutely beautiful. I hope you're actually seeing it. I hope it's focusing. I'm really sorry if it's not. So it is a absolute lace weight. It is fine. So I think it's 930 yards per 100 grams. So my idea, I got 2 of them, is I'm going to hold them together. And we'll see what kind of fabric I get with that. I don't know what I'm making with this yet. I think I'm making a t-shirt or a tank of some kind. It is quite similar to my skin tone, so I probably won't do like a real thin tank top. I'd probably do I wouldn't do the square neck or the camisole, because I think this is just too similar. So I'd probably do like a tank or a tee with this, but I have enough of it. I just don't know, like, I feel like 2 of these together is still going to be a light fingering weight, so we'll have to see. But it's just, it's so soft. It's so soft and so nice. The next one I got, I am also very curious to see how this works out. So they have this yarn. They have so many colors in this, and it's called Handwritten. It comes in a little cone, and it is cotton, but it's like ribbon cotton, and it's lace weight. So you can kind of see it's like a little flat ribbon. So it is also 930 yards per 100 grams. They recommend it's 36 to 40 stitches per 4 inches on a US 1. That isn't happening. So I got 2 of them. This color is Pink Heather. So I figured I would hold them together. And they actually, I don't know how much I'm gonna like this, to be honest. They have a pattern on their website that's a scarf, and they marl 2 different colors together, and it is still very open. So I'm gonna swatch. I think, I don't know that I'm gonna love, like, I may end up having to add a 3rd one just to make it a fabric that I would wear, but then I don't know how that's gonna affect it. Like, is something like this intended to be a loose gauge item? I mean, I don't know. They swatched it at a really tight gauge. Maybe I just need to, oh, that sounds absolutely disgusting, knitting a sweater at a 40, like a 10 stitch per inch gauge. Like, ugh, no thanks. That would take years. It would take so long. But they have this in so many colors. It was really hard to choose, honestly. So I decided to go with something that I had, like, different from everything else I purchased recently. So we'll see. It's unique. It is definitely unique. So we'll have to see if I end up liking it or not. I've also, like, started unraveling it, and I need to see how they do it. They do it like this. There you go. You put the label over it. Okay, and then the last one from Pearl Soho I bought because I already had one of these skeins, and I really wanted to double strand this, and I wasn't going to have enough with just 1 or 2, honestly, so I was going to need 3. So this is the Cattail Silk, and this is Flower Field in Charcoal. So you can kind of see the little neps in it. You might be able to see it or not. It's very subtle. They're different, like, rainbow colors. So I now have 3 skeins of this. This is also a lace weight. This is pure silk, so it's 100% silk. It's 618 yards per 100 grams. So I have a green one of this that I have 2 skeins of, and I had already swatched with this double stranded, and I like it. But using the needle size for the fingering weight Tolsta, it was a little too stiff for me. So I may either try the DK weight, or I may do the plain yoke tee in this. I think that would be really pretty in this. So more things, more things to do. I have so many options. And then my last purchase was actually a pre-order that I bought a while back. Sorry, it's like I ran out of space, which is ridiculous. So this one was a pre-order. I think I bought it back in February and it just shipped. It is wool. It's not summer weight fabric, but I'm pumped about it. So I had some Wandering Flock, and this is the DK. This is extra fine merino, and it is in neon pink, and I got 2 of them. They look different there, but they're not. They're the same. My thinking on this was that I would knit my littlest niece a sweater in this for Christmas. I was actually thinking of doing it for her birthday, but that doesn't make any sense because her birthday's this month and it's gonna be too hot to wear a sweater. So if I have enough yardage, this is between the two, it's 460 yards. So I think that's enough for a DK weight toddler, or she'll be 3. She'll be 3 this month. So I've joked before, she's the thug. She's the one that's like, the older one will be building something and the little one will come in and just like knock it over. And you'll be like, hey, why'd you do that? And she's like, I wanted to. She's been so sweet lately. So, yeah, my sister's been sending us little messages. Like, she's just been like being, I don't know, more like her big sister in a way. Like, the older one will just kind of like, if you give her coloring, she'll sit there and just entertain herself and color and just be happy. The younger one needs to interact and destroy things. But she lately has just been like sitting and coloring, and so maybe it's a phase. Hopefully it's a phase. The destructive part is a phase. But anyway, this might be her Christmas sweater. We'll see. And then the last thing I got was also from Wandering Flock, and this was the one I was actually most excited for. This is the Celadon colorway, and it's in the worsted. That's such a pretty, I feel like it's, with my dress in here, it's just not gonna look right, but I got 3 skeins of this, and my idea with this is I'm going to make myself another Sophie shawl. So the big Sophie one. I love that thing. It is what I wear more, like I wore that scarf, I think technically it's the shawl, but it works like a scarf. I wore it more than any other cowl or scarf or shawl that I own. And I got so many compliments on it. It's so wearable. And it's like a little bit dramatic, but not super dramatic. And I have it in like a dark charcoal. I have it in a pea green fluffy. And so I figured this would be another good one to add to my collection. Let's just do like a nice pretty pale green. I think Lily from Curatorial Knits recently made a tank top. I think she made the cloud top. I could be wrong, but she used this color and it was beautiful. And I was so excited because I knew I'd ordered it, and when I saw her wearing it, I was like, oh, I can't wait till mine gets here. So, and they sent it in this lovely little canvas drawstring bag, so I might use that for something. But woof, that's a lot. That's a lot. I think the acquisitions will taper down. I'm trying very hard not to buy nearly as much yarn going forward, because I think I have enough to last me all summer at this point. I will buy some more, most likely next weekend at the grand opening of Moondrake. But now we just get the fun of like powering through all these lovely new yarns. So I will have a whole collection of summer wardrobe. So that'll be fun. What else? That's it. The Giro d'Italia, which is the Italian version of the Tour de France, started this morning. I watched a little bit while I did my Peloton ride. It's really annoying with Peloton, like with the max option on there, is that you can't easily fast forward. And so you have to watch all the dang commentary at the beginning. It's kind of annoying. they did this really silly thing today where they, like, I think they were just killing time, honestly. And they had the commentators role play like they were on a team bus. And it was just like, just get to the race. I don't need to see y'all pretending to be a team and giving advice to your players or your riders. Like, it was weird, but I'm excited for that. Also, the Oklahoma City Thunder are in the playoffs, which is very exciting. We have been in a rebuilding phase for a few years, and now we're like actually really good. So I'm very excited about that. I hope we keep going far. I almost got tickets to the first playoff game. They weren't outrageously expensive, but I don't know. I ended up not. If you've ever watched the games like on TV and they talk about how loud Oklahoma City is, like that's actually what they call our stadium, is Loud City. It is deafeningly loud in there, and there is not a bad seat really. Like there's, even when you're in like the nosebleeds, it's still a good view. So it's just, yeah, bring earplugs because it is loud. But maybe I'll get to go see one. I don't know. Hopefully we keep going and we make it all the way. But that is it for me. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys are not in the path of any storms. I hope you get some time to be active and time for knitting or crocheting or sewing or spinning or whatever it is you do. And I hope you get some time to hang out with the people you love. And I will see you back in 3 weeks, probably 3 weeks, unless I have some like, oh, actually, you know what? We have a long weekend. Maybe I'll do like I don't know. I'll have to figure this out. It'll probably be 3 weeks though. But if it's not, I will let you know. And keep an eye out on Instagram, because once my mom rifles through and picks what of my stash she wants, I will do a de-stash. So hopefully you can find something you like there. But I will see you guys back. See ya.